Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review, and next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends Series Avengers GamerVerse Wave 2, the Joe Fixit Build-A-Figure Wave. This is Marvel's Thunderstrike, or Eric Masterson. So looking at the package, we get the generic Marvel logo there at the bottom. There at the top, we get the Build-A-Figure Joe Fixit. Side artwork of Thunderstrike looks really cool. I like the way that looks. You have the kind of the battle damaged city there in the background. I really like that. He comes with his mace, which is called Thunderstrike, which is where he gets his hero name. He has the head for the Joe Fixit Build-A-Figure. Here on the back of the package, we have a look at all the figures in the wave. This is the last one before we get to Joe Fixit. His bio reads, Marvel's Thunderstrike, Kevin Masterson. Wait a second. I don't think that's right. This is definitely Eric Masterson, right? Am I going crazy here? Kevin's his son, but had a much different look, if I remember correctly. Anyway, Kevin Masterson follows in the noble footsteps of his idol Thor because the world still needs heroes. I don't know about that bio, man. Somebody will have to let me know down in the comments below, but that just does not sound right to me. Anyway, let's get this thing opened up. Okay, here is the Thunderstrike figure out of the package. You know what? He's actually surprisingly a pretty good one. There's a couple of problems with it in terms of the articulation with the head, but other than that, it's actually a really good looking figure. I am actually pleasantly surprised. But the other problem is that in lots of images, if you look up Thunderstrike, he's actually depicted as holding Thunderstrike the mace in his left hand, but for whatever reason, we have the only holding hand is his right, and then his left hand is just open hand. Can't really hold Thunderstrike, and then he comes with one extra fist for his left hand, so he can't actually hold the mace, his weapon, in his left hand. So that's unfortunate. He comes with the Joe Fixit head for the Build-A-Figure, as you can see there. I know it kind of comes off looking gray, but it is a greenish, a more green color for the Build-A-Figure head. We are going to put that in the pile off to the side. And then we'll take a closer look at Thunderstrike and check out his Thunderstrike mace. I'm going to say Thunderstrike a lot, I think. Okay, so here's an up-close look at Thunderstrike, and actually, now that I don't know if it's the way light hits it, it looks like he's constantly looking up, doesn't it? Like, you should be looking straight out, man. Why are you looking up? Kind of go like that. I guess he's kind of looking straight out. But before we really take a better look at him, let's look at the Thunderstrike mace. This looks really good. I really like kind of that rocky texture to it. I like that dark color, and we get some chips and stuff in there to really have some battle damage look, so I really like that. Now here on this side, it looks like there's kind of a cut in there. I don't know if that's just on mine or if that was specifically in the design of it, so if you guys have it, you guys let me know down in the comments below. The handle is just done in a brown color, and then we get the chain that hangs off of the end. He actually holds the chain when he's flying, and his flight isn't as good as like Thor with Mjolnir or anything, but he does that. We get a T right there up at the top for Thunderstrike, so that looks really good. So I am happy with that. It's got some decent weight to it, so decent enough. Here is Thunderstrike. What I really like about this head sculpt is that inside the mouth, I don't know if you could really tell, they actually sculpted the uvula back there, and that is definitely a nice touch. That's not something that you usually get with action figures. You know, you might get that open mouth. See, you can see it there. And it just kind of is a hole in there and stuff, but they actually sculpted the damn uvula in there. That's pretty cool. The teeth are painted nicely as well. You can kind of see the teeth. I am kind of taken back by this head sculpt. I am impressed. It's kind of plain for the hair color because there's no shading or anything in it, in the blonde. So that's a little unfortunate. You know, the texture of the beard looks really nice. If they would have added in some kind of shading, like a light brown or tan shading, I think it really would have set this thing apart, because that looks pretty good. The paint of the eyes looks good, but I think maybe it's the bright lights that make it look like he's looking up, because you kind of get the shine on there. It definitely not something that, you know, having the figure in hand, you could really see. It's definitely the bright lights. But looking at this leather jacket vest, that looks really good. You know, we get some silver paint in there, but the texture of the leather came out looking really nice, and it actually feels different from most rubber jackets and stuff that we get. So it almost has this real leather feel to it. I'm not sure how they did that, if it's just the texture of what's going on, but it feels like a real leather jacket. And so I am, again, I am impressed with this figure. The rest of it, there's not a whole lot going on. We get this bright yellow belt there. That's just a floating piece. These armbands, we get a little bit of light blue, a little bit of dark blue. That blue for his shirt is painted onto those shoulder balls there. We get this nice metallic sky blue, those rings there for his chest armor and his torso armor. That's pretty cool. So that is a new torso piece. We actually get the diaphragm rocker on there, no ab crunch. The brown boots, these are new as far as I can tell. I don't believe we've seen these before. They're just all brown, but they're sculpted nicely, and they actually have a lot of texture to them. So that is pretty cool. So I am definitely liking this one. I think he may unfortunately suffer and become a peg warmer of the wave just because he's so little known. But yeah, he's actually a really good one. So let's zoom out for his articulation, but you'll see where it is lacking. Okay, so Thunderstrike, he can look down, as you can see there. Problem is, he's not going to look up really, because that head is going to hit the back collar of his jacket. So that's really not going to work if you're trying to get him into flight poses. Not going to work. So that's unfortunate. You get some pivot going in there, not a whole lot, but you do get the rotation, of course. Shoulder goes up only that high, and that was a little tough. And then damn, the hinge is blue. What the hell? Why did they do that? So that's tough. That hinge should have been the flesh tone. Why it's blue, who knows. Full rotation there, of course. You have an upper bicep swivel. Look at that shoulder. I stressed the hell out of that plastic. So be careful with that. Damn. So careful getting that shoulder up, because I kind of pushed it right to its limit, and look what happened. Stressed the hell out of that plastic, kind of chipping into it. So careful there. That's another dock point for this figure. Double jointed elbow, so you get a little bit more than 90 degrees. His bicep is quite large, so you don't get a whole lot of bend there, but you get some. Wrist swivels, and it hinges, and they both hands have this. Oh no, right hand has the vertical hinge, whereas the other two hands have the standard horizontal hinge that comes with most figures. And again, diaphragm rocker, so not an ab crunch, so he can pivot to the side a little bit that way, pivot to the other side a little bit that way. Going forward, you can get him to go forward that much, so a little bit better than I would have thought. Going back, it goes back that much, not a whole lot, but you do have that jacket in there, so you kind of get some turn at that upper torso piece because of that diaphragm rocker. So there is no waist swivel on this guy. That is one solid piece there. Legs go out that far apart. He can kick forward that high, so decent amount for a big fella. Doesn't go back. You have an upper thigh cut there. You get a double jointed knee, which works okay. The boot hits the back of the leg, but what I really like there is that knee pad there is actually part of the shin guard for his boots. So, but his knee, the actual knee joint is actually really tiny. And again, and I'm just noticing this now, pinless knees. So this is the second figure in this wave to have pinless knees. So Kang the Conqueror, pinless knees. Now we have Thunderstrike, pinless knees. So kudos, Hasbro. Now do it with the arms for all the figures. So nice to see that they're doing new sculpts, so they might as well start off right and do the no pins. So they are doing well with that. No boot swivel though. So you can't turn at the boot. Foot hinges down that much. Hinges up a little bit, but that top of the boot hits that shin guard, ankle pivot, and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So decent. Wish he would have a little bit more, but it is pretty good. I just wish the head could have a little bit more motion. About a little bit of a size comparison, we have Thunderstrike next to the 80th anniversary classic Thor. You can see bulk-wise, they're about the same. Thor kind of has a little head, and then the helmet and winged tips really kind of make him stand out a little bit taller. But as you can see, the arms are basically the same for these two figures. The torsos are definitely different. The legs are different, but there are some similarities, I guess, just those arms. And the same wristbands are the same, just painted different colors there. But they look good side by side. Okay, so real quick, here's just a side-by-side comparison of the Mjolnir that came with the 80th anniversary Thor and the Thunderstrike mace that comes with Thunderstrike. So you can see that the handles are a little bit different. The Thunderstrike handle is actually a little bit larger, but in terms of size, weight, they are pretty close in size and weight. So there they are. Okay, so my final thoughts on this figure. I definitely thought this was one that I would not care about whatsoever, but you know what? So having this figure in hand, it's really surprised me how much I actually really like it. I don't care for the design overall, but in figure form, I think it actually looks really good. I am thoroughly impressed with this leather jacket vest because it is done very nicely with all the texturing and even how it feels. A little bit of paint on there, but the mold of it is awesome. The head sculpt is fantastic. Again, the uvula is even sculpted in the back of his throat. How awesome is that? So definitely one that's a sleeper figure for the wave. I'm curious to know what you guys think. You guys let me know down in the comments below your thoughts. If you guys like the video, please hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.